Hello everyone. Good day.
Stump Kitchen, gluten-free vegan eats, Stumptastic treats.
Why am I doing this video? Well, I have a small PSA that I wanted to share with the world, or whoever watches this video, in that, like, it's something that it has really kind of stuck with me, and who am I? I'm the type of person that, you know, if something bugs me or gets under my skin or rubs me the wrong way, I'm gonna say something about it. It's just who I am. It's in my nature. Always has been, and hopefully always will be. I guess here we go. A few weeks ago, maybe even months ago now, when it was really hot out, my partner and I stopped at a local, like a 7-Eleven or something, to get Slurpees because she was having a bad day, and Slurpees cheer her up, and it's a good treat to share with your loved ones. And, you know, there weren't too many people in there. We were all masked, and, you know, we were all vaxxed and everything, like my partner and I. So we just whipped in real quick to grab a Slurpee, and they had her favorite kind. They had root beer, which, like, doesn't happen other than in the winter. So that was really nice. So we got root beer Slurpees, and I went up to the till to pay for them, and I had a whole bunch of change. So I dug around in my wallet and I pulled out the change, and, you know, like, for me, and probably for other people too, regardless of how many limbs you have or don't have, or, you know, like, what your body is like for you, it's not the easiest to count change, you know, out of my hand, like 5, 10, you know. So I typically will put the change on a table, count it out, and then pass it to the clerk or whatever. Because even, like, holding it against my body and counting, I drop stuff. And in COVID, you don't really want to be, you know, dropping things and touching extra surfaces if you don't have to. So I carefully put my change down on the table, and before I could even get to start counting it out to pay for our Slurpees, the clerk immediately, you know, pushed their way in and started counting out my change, touching all of my coins, all of my things, not even saying a word to me, just got in there and started counting it out, and took the appropriate amount and, you know, put it in the till and gave me my receipt and whatever. So then I did what I guess anybody else would do. I scooped up the rest of my money, put it in my wallet, sanitized my limbs, grabbed the Slurpees, left, and outside I had to stop and just think for a moment. And I was like, Allison, I'm very full of rage. And she was like, are you okay? What's happening? And I was like, that was so frustrating and angering, and I couldn't really, you know, put my finger on why, put my stump on why, lol. So I had to think about it for a little bit more. And I just vented to her in the moment. I was just like, you know, how, like, this person, this clerk, probably thought that they were helping, or maybe they thought this is gonna take too long and I'm gonna, you know, help speed up the process. But there was nobody behind us, and I didn't see any immediate need to be rushing. And, you know, all that stuff aside, once I thought about it a bit more, it just felt like a huge, like, invasion of my space and autonomy. And I know, like, it's just paying for something at a grocery store or whatever, like, I get that, and it's just counting out coins. But to me, I think it just points to a whole bunch of icky stuff in relation to how other people think they have to do stuff for me or for folks with disabilities, or I don't know. It's a weird thing. So all I can do is explain to you how it felt, and you know, maybe you've had a similar situation Hopefully you haven't, but if you have, maybe you can relate, and we can share some ideas about it, and I don't know, just processing it together. So here's what it felt like for me. It felt like, first of all, I was like, you know, as they were coming in to touch my stuff, I was like, hey, that's my money. What are you doing? Don't take my money. What if you count it wrong? I count it really good. What are you doing? So that was the first reaction. The second reaction was that of helplessness. Like I couldn't stop what was happening. So like all of a sudden this person was just like touching my money, counting it for me, and taking away this process of like paying for my own stuff, counting it myself. And I felt helpless to stop it. And that was really frustrating and really angering. And then I just kind of felt angry. Like I just wanted to be like, stop what you're doing. Don't touch my I can count it out. Just watch me. I'm just doing it in my own way, blah, blah, blah. So I got really angry. And then after that, I felt like, I don't like really admitting this, but I felt like embarrassed, maybe? Is that the right word? Yeah, maybe a bit embarrassed because of what it felt like this person, you know, was thinking about me. So this person thought she needs help. She can't do this on her own. I have to help her. I'm a good citizen. I don't know, whatever they were thinking in their head. And so I was like embarrassed, not for myself, embarrassed for me and for them that thought had to go through their head. But then that also led to anger, that like people just take it upon themselves to jump in and support, help. I'm not going to say support because it's like a form of helping. Support I find is a more empowering word for folks with disabilities or folks that need, you know, a support. So yeah, like this person was helping. I don't know, just angry. So, and the other thing is that like counting out money and change and stuff is one of my favorite activities. I love doing it. I love sorting coins. I love counting coins. I love doing the mental math. It's just one of my joys in life. And with all the cards nowadays, pardon me, we don't really get a chance to use money a lot. So this person was taking that joy away from me. And that was one of the main things that I told to Allison afterwards. I was like, they just like took away this joy, and I'm so pissed. Like they took away this fun experience that I love to do at shops. It reminds me of when I was a kid counting out my money to get candy or whatever. So I was just really angry. And then lastly, it was like kind of a deflated feeling, like, yeah, I don't know, deflated, frustrated, angry, sad, embarrassed, like helpless, like I couldn't stop it in the moment. Anyway, obviously, like, I'm not experiencing that feeling right now, so I am not in a moment of anger, and that's awesome. In the time, it was really yucky, but I've had some time to think and reflect on it. And I think there's a couple options. Like for me, you know, when this type of thing happens, I can do a couple of things. I can just let it happen and just smile to myself and be like, you think you need to help me, but you really don't. Or like, wow, this person is being kind and showing some support. Or, you know, I can kind of tell myself those kinds of positive messages. Or I can speak up. I can say something like, you know what, I really like counting out money, so I'm gonna do this. Or like, oh, actually, I got this, I can do it myself. Or, oh, thanks anyway, but I'm gonna count out my own money. But that's hard to do in the moment. It's really, really hard to do in the moment. For those of you that have experienced something similar, I'd love to know your feedback and comments, because I think for people who don't experience this type of thing, due to a limb difference or disability or whatever, watching you might be like, get over yourself, like they were just trying to help. And maybe I'm not really explaining it clearly, but like the feeling of even these small tasks being co-opted, taken over by somebody else because of what they assume you can or can't do is really, really suffocating and frustrating. And I think when these things, add up over the course of your day or your life, it just wears on you and you get poopy and then you have to make a video about it. So yeah, I thought this was important to put out there. I don't have a lot of answers, but I know that, if you're experiencing something similar or have in your past or present or future, that, whatever feelings you have about it are completely valid and you're not alone. And if you feel uncomfortable, it's for a reason and you shouldn't just have to get used to it. You're allowed to process these weird feelings. They are important and you can talk about them. And I would like to talk about them with you. So send me a note or a comment or whatever. Anyway, that's all for this video. I'm just, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. And yeah, thanks for letting me go into some, a bit more complicated and deeper feelings and experiences. And I want to do this more because I think it's really, really important. And because I learned so much from other people's experiences when I watch them on YouTube and stuff. So I thought it was time that I share a bit more of mine. So more to come. So if you haven't already, I'd love it if you subscribe to Stump Kitchen on YouTube. You can also support me on Patreon if you want to. Thank you so much to my incredible patrons. You're the reason that I can do what I do, so thank you. And yeah, we'll see you next time on Stump Kitchen. Bye!
Stump Kitchen, gluten-free vegan eats, Stumptastic treats.